Just about 6 inches, everybody, 6 inches. With your chair, move forward. I'll go back. Someone's clonking their chair a few times just to let us know they're there. Did you feel a bit of crud move with you at the same time? Because when you sit in the same place all the time, energies kind of linger with you, and it's always good to move. So the next thing, we'll get up. A lot of people talking about head and heart, yes? Okay. One thing us white guys don't do, is there any darker people here today? No, because I grew up in London where there were 1,000 West Indian kids in the same school as me, and very bouncy. They've actually got inside their pelvis, I don't know the two things, but there's two things that are a little bit more bouncy than us, because they say they were meant to hunt. They were meant to chase, they were meant to kill, and we tend to be very good at lifting weights, us white people. So they actually have a really lovely bounce in the pelvis, as many women might have experienced in their life, and they have a good reputation from it. And being the only white man that played in an all-black cricket team, it was pretty tough for me to hang out with the guys that were there. So we'll stand up at the moment, we'll move the pelvis, because this is what we talked about. So what you do, just get your hands on either side of your pelvis, and just give it a little bit of a circle. Okay? Those of you who feel a bit stiff down there, just get it flowing. No intent on the pun, stiff. Okay, because we're talking a lot of head, heart, but we'd like to get the pelvis happening too, wouldn't we, yeah? So just get it down, nice and smooth. Just get it rolling a bit, so it's happening. And then go around the other way, because sometimes people roll one way with the pelvis, but not so well the other. I'm not so great to the right. Good, you're laughing, sweetheart, that's wonderful. So get the pelvis rolling. And see at the same time if you can get your knees to come in as well, and also get your ankles to do it too. So we don't have to have any hip operations in here, or knee operations, etc. Get a bit joyous with it now, here like this. We can have a bit of woohoos, if you like. Okay, thank you, and sit down. That's great. Okay. Now, it's at times like this that I regret asking Jackie to go last, because my wife, knowing that I'm driving back to the Sunshine Coast as well, would like to see me go first and then leave. But we have to trust our intuition. It's also at times like this, I wish I wasn't an intuitive going last, because almost every bit of information has been covered. Having said that, what's really, really important to me, if I'm still and within myself, I'll gather information from whoever I choose to, and I do that as best I can to get information that may actually help you. Now, did you know also that there's far more communicated in the gaps between what's being said than what's actually being said? So, there are masses of beings around. There's some very powerful ones that you've brought in. Some really beautiful people communicating. And our family's also here communicating with us right now as well, yes? And our family's ongoing for many, many eons, years, centuries, lifetimes, etc. Thousands, millions, billions of lives. Apparently we've been around 13.5 billion years from the Big Bang. But does anyone remember before the Big Bang? Be a good idea that you open up to the concept that we've been around a very long time. And it is right, quite a few people have actually said it, that we've come from great places into where we are now. Do we use those great places in these small bodies? Possibly. I believe our potential is to realise who we really are. And have you ever looked someone in the eyes and actually something more has occurred between you than you could ever imagine that you could see in your own eyes? Yes? And some people call this love, or consciousness, or a conscious connection, etc. But it's really, really important. If we were to take just the rainbow, isn't the rainbow cool? Did you notice there's a rainbow serpent, or whatever the hell, rainbow lizard out there? I've talked here many times, and I've never walked over that rainbow lizard. I've never peed on that massive tree over there. Please tell men they need to pee outside, for crying out loud. I do it on my retreats, but I whack in that little toilet dutifully with my little wee... Oh no, it's a bit bigger than that. Little thing, get my pee done, I'm straight up, make sure I put the lid down, got to be popular with the ladies, etc. And come back in here. Whacking great tree out there. Isn't it great to hug a tree? How often do we do that? And we know how important trees are to us. We know how important grounding is. It's so important, if you don't know about grounding, to do that. Because if you're grounded, you'll feel the earth energies, because it's a wonderful earth that we're spinning on. It's got incredibly good communications. I don't care what anyone goes on about, we're not going to wipe out this earth. She'll wipe us out well before we're a pimple on the bottom of a rhino. Okay? And my personal opinion, I asked some very intelligent people about 21st of the 12th next year. And the first one I said was my little daughter Bella. And when she was born, she looked me in the eyes and she gave me a Kodak moment I'll never forget. She shone her light into the back of me, but it wasn't like light, it was like, I can't explain it. And she hit the back of me and acknowledged me in a way I couldn't explain in words, in a million words, in a million lifetimes. Do you understand? But it was so incredible. And what was really great, a friend of mine who's a shaman, who liaises, I've got lots of friends, all weird and wonderful friends from all walks of life. I love that. You know, I grew up in London, you know, I'm an idiot like everyone else, but I grew up with a really famous mum and had all these wacko people come around my house, and as a kid I just didn't appreciate them. My mum was a female astrologer back in the 70s when they were seen as witches, and she still practices a noosa. She gave me some incredible information tonight. I don't know which information to give you, but what I asked my little daughter Bella, I said, what do you think is going to happen at the end of next year, at the end of the Mayan calendar? And she said, I don't know. And then my mother said, you know what, it's interesting, I pulled all these cards out for people, and the one that's left behind here is Kali. And Kali says endings and beginnings. Yeah. The old must be released so that the new can enter. And apparently we're in the age of Kali, if you're into that stuff. I don't know too much about Kali. All I know is that she's probably good in the bedroom because she's pretty fiery. So I'm glad I haven't come anywhere near her with my small penis. I'd be no good, would I? All right? But Kali's, this age is quite incredible, and we've got people like Murdoch going down for what they're doing. We've got the Prime Minister, recent Prime Minister of the UK, getting 2 million handouts from Gaddafi. I have a friend that runs a bank in England, okay? I used to be a director of one of the biggest private financial planning companies here. And it was in 1991 that I heard a guy called Wayne Dyer speak at the same time as a big thing with Wayne Dyer, Deepak Chopra, Louise Hay, Denise Lynn, and Michael D'Amico Rowland, who's the Aussie, ringing, okay? 91, went to see them speak. And I waited for this communication. Wayne Dyer said, I never met a man lying on his deathbed, wish he spent more hours in the office. It just hit me right in the heart, but I was too stupid to act on it. Yeah? So then 1995, when I got into a relationship with one of the Tyree family, which was one of the wealthiest families in Sydney, Sir William Tyree selling his house in Darling Point worth $50 million. Pretty good for a house worth 50 million. Did you notice there's a couple of gods running the world at the moment? Sex and money. But I'm into love, and I'm into consciousness, and I believe that you already know everything that's been said tonight, and as you said really eloquently, we're all putting our take on the same thing. All I'm asking you to do is listen, and hear, and pick up what's known. And my work's called Be Yourself, right? So my mother, she said the best thing you could tell them, because she's got a friend that she sees in Brisbane, great practitioner. Apparently there's 11 books about this time that have been brought by the Vatican, and this guy's got 2 of the books that they didn't get. She told me some really gnarly stuff. She said, don't tell them that. You know, but at the end of the day, both my wife, who I think is the most conscious person I know, and typical of the conscious people, they don't come and talk at places like this. Think about that. Right? But we're mouthpieces, most of us, for the consciousness. So if we can let that run through us to some extent, and even if you take my beforing and my fun with you, through me or through your families or through the eyes of your children or your grandchildren or whatever, whoever's yet to come is available to you now. Because the future, the past, the present, it's all here right now. So you can feel in your body what's going to happen in the 21st to the 12th next year. You'll know yourself. From the biggest perspective, nothing. Nothing will happen. And then from another's perspective, everything. Personally, I believe that the corruption or the lack of integrity in any human is likely to be seen very large. And all the really good people like the Queen Mother have been around 100 years say that everyone's becoming more conscious. So you can't say the same old crap that you used to say and people believe it. Do you follow? People are deeply, deeply aware. There's enormous integrity that everyone has, and if we could at least treat anyone or everyone with a modicum of respect, guess what's going to come back from them is what they already know that I didn't know. I've been blown away by every teacher here today. And I normally am not. I must be honest, I sit there waiting for my bit. Oh yeah, I heard that, yeah, oh, boring, oh God, that one, oh no, you know. But really, to be honest, couldn't you feel the heart here the whole night? Do you know when it gets hot, what's happening? Spirits in the room. Yeah, of whatever kind you want to get it. And a lot of people, when they're working spiritually, they have to take their clothes off. It's very exciting if you're a facilitator. And people have been getting very hot because, and often the heat, I believe, is a resistance to it. So our responsibility, a great word, one of my favourite teachers who I bring in when I'm a bit short and I need a bit of help sometimes, one of the things she said, CRI, commitment, responsibility, integrity. And integrity, gee, you could talk about that one for about 5,000 years, yeah? So I don't have any great message for you other than one date you haven't heard about this weekend is the 11th of the 11th. Apparently there's been a quickening this year. I don't know if you felt it, you know, but there's probably always going to be a quickening if we're resistant, because it's the universe saying, will you evolve for Christ's sake? Do you understand? And if we're going to be slow and sluggish, and we do need to be in the whole of our bodies. I've been working head heart for quite a while, okay, and I'm quite good in being in my heart and communicating my heart, but sometimes I'm not. I've got 4 kids and I've got a wife. I'm one man with 5 ladies at home. I have my moments. And I also, at 50 years of age, teach primary school. Okay, I teach preps who are like headless chickens. I teach them phys ed. I've gone back for doing that. You know, it's felt like a really big backward step, and I teach 18-year-old thugs, okay, that are going to play for the Broncos and whatever, and I've learned a lot about patients and kids and what they're like. My passion is to work with people here because you guys normally are really interested and you know why you've come. The kids, if we give them, in my school in Nambour, if you give them anything inauthentic, they'll give you that. That's a really good communication. Sorry about that being on YouTube or whatever it is, but they'll give you that. And my mother's made it really clear, which I'm really nice to see. She said, authentic communication, people who are really being themselves, quite rare. So most of us are copying or resisting what we've heard before, or modelling it, or changing it, or within patterns. So people have talked about the mind, yes, that's been going well. If we can give ourselves the whole body to feel it, have you women ever been next to your man and you've just had this feeling next to you? Have you ever been next to your beloved and you feel like thumper, you know? Have you ever felt like that? I feel like that next to my wife a lot. And when my kids come in the room in the morning, you know, I've had my 4.5-year-old, she's just started sleeping all the night in her bed. Now, when they start doing that, you think, Christ, that's fantastic, I get to be with my wife a fair bit, but the 2 nights that she's been out of my room, I've really missed her. So last night she came in halfway through the night, and to wake up to see this authentic, soft, natural little being. Look at kids. A yoga teacher once stopped me. She grabbed me and noosed and carried me to a place that she's going to try and make love to me or something, you know. And she made me do this yoga class with her, and at the end she grabbed my little face and she said, just look at your kids for 3 minutes every night. Just do it. You know? And I'm working with a lady, 3 minutes. You only need 3 seconds. With Bella and me, it was just a Kodak moment. She just needed to get me. It was timeless. Do you follow? You all know it all. Please open. Please stay open to all of us. Please take home everything from everyone, because believe me, like you did when you gave me the hot rocks before, okay? I had 2 crystals in my hand.
That's the crystals, by the way.
Yeah. They were just incredible, and our intent is massive. Now, who here's got great intent? Who here's got great love? Yeah, and who here's for the good, for the great, for the whatever? And we also need to be there for the bad, the whatever, you know, whatever you want to call that too. I put it like 2 yins and yangs. One's black, one's white. We love being white. Oh, you're so great, Lisa. Look at you, you're so beautiful. But there are days we're ugly and we're a bitch. You know? True? Yeah? And we need to be happy about that, etc. Because if we're not, we're within that duality and we're no use to anyone. We're just small. Yeah? Have you ever looked at yourself from witness consciousness and you've laughed yourself silly? Now, I talked with these bloody annoying people down in Sydney once, and I said, do they laugh much? She said, oh no, they never laugh. Well, consciousness is laughing itself all the time. And the thing I'll leave you with, it's probably a good point. I've worked with people in really, really, really terrible places, really stuck. I don't like doing that work, it happens now and again, because most people have something in there somewhere, a little stuck thing. I like the flash stuff, I like the advanced stuff, I like all that, yeah? We all like it easy, don't we, yes? But sometimes we've got to clean toilets, don't we? And that's what I found at 41 years of age, after being a director of a big company. My partner went on to make 15 million. I had this voice in my head. No, it wasn't in my head actually. In a room this side, it was this loud in 1996, after dating Lisa for 6 months. Get out! I thought, shit, what the hell's that? But I was clever enough to follow that voice out of a very big career where I could have made lots of money. I've been poor as a church mouse ever since. But I tell you what, I've aged far less than all my mates. My corruptibility is far less. I'm still very corrupt in many ways, okay? But it's far less than a lot of friends that I have. And I can see them as if they're stuck in treacle in a game. They just can't pull themselves out. They look like they're moving quick in a Porsche and a Ferrari and knocking off the secretary and God knows what else. But they're stuck in a game. Do you understand that? I call them energy games, right? And so many people are stuck in inauthentic ways of being, and we need to not judge them. We need to love them, get next to them, and just give them a bit of us, and see if part of them goes. My friend, who's the CEO of a very big bank in England, I was with him for about 10 minutes and he was sobbing, and believe me, this guy does not cry. So all we need to do is give them us, yeah? I met a really, really, really genuine teacher once. He told me, he said, if you can't do it in presence, then talk to them. If you can't do it in talking to them, then touch them. And if you can't do it in touching them, then get them to breathe. Do you know what the most advanced yoga courses and stuff, when you go to these ashrams and things now, you work with these gurus, no more talking, they just work on breathing. Do you know most of us are quite dead in the body? We're not breathing much. Good one to end, isn't it? Thank you.